Once again, welcome to Creative Ends platform. Today, I'm making a unique turban, and that's the picture you are seeing here. So, for me to achieve this design of turban, I will be working with the satin material, bridal satin to be precise. The width for the material is 14 by 14 inches, and then the length is about 58. So anyway, I did not really finish the 58, but I like working with excess material, make sure that what I intend to achieve, I'm able to achieve it. So 14 by 58 it is, and then this is the stretchy fabric that I'm using, and then I want to make two of this type you see in my hands. Of course, I have folded and I have sewn, so it measured 4 inches. 4 inches after sewing means that when you open it up, it will measure 8 inches. Is that okay? And then for the complete length, the complete length of the fabric is 34 inches, and for this particular one, I have two of it. I have two of it. By the way, the turban, that is the base of the turban I will be using for this cap, is already prepared, and I did not make video on it. It's a body pleated turban, so I'm basically concerned with how you will design it. So the next thing I'll do is that I will close up the one part of this particular material. I'll close up one part. So the part I'm closing up is to enable me fix in the fiber to the material so that I can create the ball. So this design I'm making actually require me to create balls. And to create the balls, I'll be using the two separate materials to create balls. And to do that, I'll be using the fiber. This is what you are seeing. It looks like cotton wool, but it's different from cotton wool. It's called fiber. They use it for throw pillow as well. So I'll just fill the both materials with it, and when I'm done filling it, I'll show you how I will create the balls. And please, while filling, do not just do not fix it into the material without first of all splitting it with your hands. I repeat, I said do not fix it into the material without first of all splitting it into pieces with your hands, because as you keep creating your balls, there will be need for you to like separate the ones you are not using immediately, and then you need to create space for you to use your needle and thread to tack that point. So if you just fix in the whole fiber without splitting it, it will be difficult for you to separate it when you need to do that. All right, so this is the cap I'll be using. It's a body pleated turban, and I did not make my video on it because I have videos on this body pleated turban on my channel already, so I did not bother going through that. And of course, it's not compulsory you use a body pleated turban for this project. You can do any pattern of turban and it will be fine. All right, I showed you this satin before, and I told you that the measurement was 14 by 58. So after folding, I have about 6.5 by 58. Is that okay? And then inside of it, I fixed a crinoline, which will help it to stand out. Instead of the material being weak, the crinoline will help it to stand out. It will help it to stand while I'm creating the pattern I will need for it. So again, I'll close the two edges because of the crinoline. If you don't want to close the edges, it's fine. You can still work with it that way. But for me, I prefer closing both edges. And while I closed the edges, I ensured that the the crinoline is a little bit backward, such that it will not be showing from any part of the material. All right, so right now the part I want to use to create the ball is ready. So for me to do that, I showed you how I sew this part before, and why I had to sew it close is because I need to fix in the fiber. So I'll start from this part. I'll just create loose stitches. For me to pull it together, I need to create the balls just like you are tying a sweet. So when you create the balls this way, you need to also take the size that you need to use. This is so that to make your ball almost equal. I know it's not possible for you to like get it equal, but then you can make it almost equal. So for this particular ball, because I don't want it to look like a rectangle, I'm just going to be working with I'll be working with 3 inches. So 3 inches distance will be what I'll be using to create my ball. So for each one of it, I'll use 3 inches. Though I'm not going to continue with the measurement because I can just assume it as I proceed. I can assume it, but just for you to know, I used 3 inches. Is that okay? So this is how I will create the ball. As I uh, hold it by the 3 inches space, I'll force in as much fiber as I desire and see that the ball is well created. Then I'll use my needle and thread to create loose stitches, after which I'll just pull it together. Now, it will be wrong for you to allow some fibers to be between the part where you are using your loose stitches. It will not allow your thread to sit properly. It will want to like create a kind of hindrance for your thread to sit properly. And that part where the part that is supposed to like uh, be fitted in will now want to look a little bit too big, or what's the right word now, that is, it will not really be too fitted. You see that it's not relaxed, is a little bit swollen, and it will not give beauty to the ball. So as much as possible, before using your needle and thread to create the loose stitches and pulling it, I will advise that you ensure that the part is clear, the part is cleared, for you to that is, all the fiber on that part should be removed, and you are very sure. So most times when I keep making my hands these ways, because I'm trying to separate the fiber, and of course, I cannot see the fiber at this point to cut it, so I try to use my hands to do that. Another way you can actually create this without stress is to create each ball, fixing in the fiber and creating it at different times. So when you finish fixing it for the first one, you finish creating it, you fill in for the second one, you create it, you fill in for the third one. If that will be convenient for you, then you can use that method. Okay, so this is how I create the ball, and for the ball I'll be creating two different ones. So now that the both balls are ready, it will be time for me to work on the satin. And for me to do that, I will I will be using the I'll use my needle and thread to create loose stitches, pull it together to first of all close the edge. After which, I'll put it in between the balls the way you see me doing now. I'll put it in between the balls and then begin to sew. Two ways you can sew it is: one, you can sew through the ball, or you can decide to use the point where you tie the balls. That is the point where you knot each of the balls. You can decide to use that point like you see me doing there now. So when you sew through the balls, it's going to kind of part the balls, though it will create another design. For this particular style, I have a video on just one ball. When you are creating one ball without this additional style, you do not sew through the ball. But when you are using this particular method, of course, you can sew through your ball, but it will create another look. And the look is not usually bad, it's okay. So for me to create this pattern now, if you look carefully, you see that for me to like sew the satin in between, and don't forget that I said inside this bridal satin is Crinoline, 6 inches Crinoline, of course, so that it will enable it to stand. And as I begin to sew it, I fold it like I'm creating a ruffle. I fold it like I'm creating a ruffle to sew it. So after fixing the satin at the middle of the balls, I'll start to pin it down, and I'll still be using my needle and thread to do that. So just the way you see me pinning it down now, I fall it in between the parts where I used to create the balls. So I'll just push it down on that particular part, and then I'll use my needle and thread to finish it up. Just make sure that it's resting on that part, creating a different design entirely. And then when I want to move to the second ball now, I'll use my needle and thread and pass through the ball at the middle. So this will help my thread not to be showing. You understand? And because I don't want to cut the thread, I don't want to cut at each point. I just want it to be continuous. So for that reason, I just like pass it through the middle of the ball and then get to the point where I'm supposed to step the satin down, and I'll easily do that without altering the style. So I hope you can see what I am doing. So I will do this to the end, and of course I can repeat it on the second side. Remember that we have two balls, so after using it to like cover this part, you can still fold it to the second part as well, and it will cover it as well. Hmm? So depending on what you want, but for this particular project, I only pin it down on one part. Is that okay? All right, so this is what I'll just do, and I will do it to the end. I'll do it to the end. So when I'm done with this process, I can just decide to add a little bit of embellishment to like give it some kind of reflection. But if you don't want to embellish it, even at this particular point, it is okay. It is very okay. Yes, before I forget, if today is your first time stopping by my channel, you are welcome this Creative Veins platform. And please don't forget to subscribe before leaving. And also don't forget to hit on that like and then the notification bell so that you can be the first to get notified when I upload a new video. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. All right, so at this point I am done with pinning the material down, and of course you can see that it has a different look entirely. It has a different look entirely. So I just want to embellish it a little with a stone, and the color I chose is the color that will reflect the material that I worked with. So this is just how it will look, and I'm using my UHU glue to fix it. If you do not have a UHU glue, you can work with E6000, and you can also use your hot glue. Anything that can perfectly fix in your stone is okay. And of course you can use different embellishment from what I have used. So this is how it is looking, this is how it is reflecting. All right, so I'm done with this part. The next stage of this cap will be how to fix the uh, the top now that I finished preparing to the base. All right, two ways you can decide to tie it on top of the turban. So with that you will just attach your handle, but if you wish to fix it on the side the way I'm doing now, it means you cannot attach handle, so you need to fix it. So I'm fixing mine, I'm not using handle, I'm not tying it on it, I'm fixing it all in one. All right, so you can just watch how I'll fix and how I will do my finishing, and then I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to leave your comments if you have any, and also if you have any question, do not forget to drop the comment. I will read and I will answer you. Most of my videos have my WhatsApp number, and you can reach me through them. If you need to send me a style that you desire, if you need me to do something for you as well, you can reach me through these numbers. I'll be glad to meet you. Yeah. All right. So do have a nice day. I will see you in my next video. For me, it is bye for now. Bye.